Alright, here we are. The video you guys have been waiting for a while now. This is the 2015 Lost Boys Fantasy Football Draft Order video.
We're back, bitches. We're back.
I hope you guys are having a good summer, and I hope you guys are ready for this upcoming season. I know I am. We'll all be together in 3 weeks to sit down for about 5 hours and do the thing we love the most, our fantasy draft. So first off, before we're going to do the draft order, we're going to first talk about last year before we move on to this next year. Last year was a really, really good year. It had some ups, it had some downs. We had some really, really good teams, and we had some really, really bad teams.
I disagree. I think it was a pretty even keel. Besides Terry and Larry, I think everyone had an opportunity to hit the playoff, especially with the amount of points everyone was scoring. And overall, the league was very even besides Terry and Larry. But he's not here anymore, so...
You know, he brought up Terry Larry. We didn't talk about Terry Larry. He's gone.
That's the last time you hear Terry.
We're going to talk about Denny. Denny Two Shoes coming into the league. The guy watches sports. The guy knows sports. He has fantasy football experience. Get ready, because we got a new challenger coming in, and he's going to bring some heat. Right, John?
John.
All right. Last year, we mentioned Terry before. He was last place. We're done talking about him. 9th place last year was our big boy, Tim. Tim kind of had a turdy team last year. But, you know...
He's got a ring. He's got a ring.
He's got a ring.
He's got credentials.
He's usually pretty bad every year, except for the year that he won the Super Bowl. And I think we can both agree that was the worst Super Bowl winning team our league's ever had.
I'd put it up there for sure, John.
Definitely, definitely. And I don't mean to rag on Tim. You know, if you took his team this year, from last year, and put it into this year, it actually wouldn't be too bad. The reason I say this is because he had Jamal Charles last year, who's going to be a top 5 pick. And he had C.J. Anderson at the end of the year last year. C.J. Anderson's going to be a really, really hot commodity now that he's Denver's starting running back. You know, I think they're going to run a little bit more with Peyton Manning getting up there in age. So,
but Peyton Manning's still Peyton Manning. And he loves to throw that motherfucking ball.
He loves to throw that ball.
C.J. Anderson, I'll give you some advice, guys. Don't take him too early. He's a bust.
Jason's
Mark it down.
He's calling it out. He's calling it out already. C.J. Anderson's gotten the bust label already. That's pretty good. Tim also had the unfortunate luck of Victor Cruz getting hurt last year.
No more salsa. He needs to stop
He didn't have
it.
the
He
salsa.
needs to stop it.
We know how Tim loves his salsa too. Which, you know, he's supposed to be coming back healthy this year. They don't know if he's going to be ready for week 1, but we'll see. In 8th place last year, we had Cal Zone. Maybe the biggest screw job of all last year. Cal,
solid team. Couldn't get the W's.
Cal probably had, not joking, the 3rd best team in the league last year.
I concur.
He had Antonio Brown, Ben Roethlisberger, Marshawn Lynch. I mean, just to name off 3, those are 3 studs. Those are 3 guys that are going to go in the top 20 picks this year. He had all 3 of them.
He had the Big Ben to Antonio Brown connection. The best connection in the season.
You know, in my post-draft video last year, I said Antonio Brown was picked way too high. God, I was wrong. Antonio Brown was the best wide receiver in fantasy last year, and it wasn't really even close.
Not even close.
You know, most teams had about 1,700, 1,800 points allowed last year. Cal had 2,000. 2,000.
His defense was not offensive.
No. His defense was not offensive.
It was bad.
It was bad. So I kind of felt bad for Cal last year. Hopefully he can bounce back this year, get good luck swaying to his side for a couple times. Next we had Ryan last year. Ryan actually had 8 wins, but because of the consolation bracket, he ended up in 7th place last year. 7th place last year. His team wasn't bad. He had Jimmy Graham. He had Calvin Johnson. If you guys remember, those were his first 2 picks of the draft last year. Those didn't really work out for him.
Kind of busted.
I
wouldn't say bust, but for those caliber players, I'd say semi-bust.
Yeah, you know, we all know Ryan knows football really, really well. I think he felt bad taking those 2 picks last year. I think you know he's not going to do something like that. I know Ryan. He maybe shoots for a running back this year. That wasn't the safest pick. It was kind of a boomer bust, and it kind of busted on him. You know, but Ryan did have, in my opinion, the best draft pick of all last year, and it was the Emmanuel Sanders pick. I mentioned that in my post-draft video last year, but I didn't think it was going to be that good. He was a monster. Emmanuel Sanders was a monster. I think he had, 16 touchdowns last year? Something like that.
No, I've read wrong. It was like 8 touchdowns, but it was like 1,500 yards.
Jace read wrong. But either way,
he's
a
still
monster.
great.
And I think he got him in like the 7th or 8th round.
Yeah.
So that was a great pick, Ryan. We all know he's going to bring his stuff to the draft.
Oh, yeah.
So after him, last year we had Justin Barreto. Barreto's still in the league, by the way, if you guys didn't know. I think I forgot.
I think his nickname should be Justin the Ghost.
Justin
Barreto.
the Ghost Barreto. It was Denny the Ghost in college. Now
No,
not
it's
anymore.
Justin
Now
the
it's
Ghost.
Justin the Ghost.
Ooh.
He's drinking too much of that margarita lately.
Margarita.
Justin, he had 2 stud quarterbacks last year. Well, what we thought were going to be stud quarterbacks. Peyton Manning was great. Peyton Manning was great. Don't get me wrong.
On the Peyton.
I know he faded towards the end of the year, but don't let that sour. You had over 4,000 yards. You had 39, 37 touchdowns. The guy was great. He had Cam Newton. Now, he picked Cam Newton early, and we all kind of said, that's not a bad pick, but we'll see how it goes.
The Blacks are too irreliable in the quarterback position.
Yeah, they're irreliable. That's a new word for blacks.
Blacks.
But
they run too much.
He didn't bring the 35, 40-point games that we've seen from Cam Newton in the past, and it really hurt Justin. He did make a great pick last year on Mike Evans. No one wanted to touch rookie wide receivers till later in the round. He did take Mike Evans. Unfortunately, he took him when he had Vincent Jackson already, so it didn't really make sense, but it worked out for him because Mike Evans was a stud last year.
That's what he does. He comes in, gets it, goes.
Well, yeah, he comes in, gets it, goes. He floats away. But Mike Evans was a great pick. Maybe Justin will have a couple more great picks this coming draft to get him up there to the playoffs this year. Next, we had Cass.
Biggest bust of the season.
Cass, your team was pretty solid. It was a pretty solid team. You had some great picks.
Okay.
Jordy Nelson, I wasn't big on him before the draft. Of course, he had a great year. Andrew Luck, I called you out as a bad pick after the draft last year, and I was wrong. Andrew Luck was a stud last year. Was the man. You could always count, even if he had 0 points going into the fourth quarter.
He's 15 in the last 7 minutes.
He's going to come out with 20 points at least.
Yeah,
Andrew Luck was the man. You also had Jeremy Maclin. Jeremy Maclin had a pretty good year. It was one of his best years he's ever had. So,
Chiefs.
Chiefs. Let's hope he has another one this year. The Jeremy Hill pick. Jeremy Hill pick up, I can't remember if you got him in the draft or you picked him up on free agency.
I don't even know who that is.
I know you don't. There we go. That's
okay, John. That's why I'm
champion
announcing
right there. Jeremy Hill pick was great. He was a stud the last half of the season. It was a great pickup. But the big elephant in the room, AP. I'm sorry, Cass. If you had Adrian Peterson healthy last year, you would have been right there near the top 2 spots. Your team had all the surrounding pieces. You just needed another star to plug in next to Andrew Luck. Maybe this year you think go safe. You want to go safe. You thought AP was safe last year. I think
he's about as safe as it gets until he beats his kids.
Me and Jace were talking about safe picks this year. I think the 2 safest picks in the draft this year are Andrew Luck and Aaron Rodgers. So maybe you can definitely think about if those guys are there to take one of them this year.
Yeah.
All right, next we had Big Daddy, tit on the nip, Big Jace last year. He had a decent team. He got some breaks to fall in. He kind of fell into the playoffs last year.
I did. I admit it.
His team wasn't the best. It was probably the fifth or sixth best team in the league. He did make some bad moves, but he had DeMarco Murray. That was the big thing. He had that workhorse. He strictly carried him to the playoffs.
Him and A-Rod.
Aaron Rodgers too, of course. Was that the first overall pick? No, that was
just third.
Third overall pick. He picked third overall pick, and he got Aaron Rodgers. And we know what Aaron Rodgers brings to the table. We don't really need to talk about that much. The guy's a monster. But the fact that he got DeMarco late and he carried him into the playoffs. Kind of some bust picks though. Julius Thomas actually took him really high. Did shit. Did nothing. Kind of cost him. And Jace's pick of the year in the draft, if you guys remember, Andy Dalton. That was his boy last year.
My boy.
Jace has one every year. He has a boy every year. Andy Dalton was his boy last year.
Busted.
And he took a diarrhea
I've
on
been playing the times he needed to play him. I started Geno. Cost me a game.
Jace at one point in the season started back-to-back weeks, Andy Dalton and Geno Smith. And he made it into the playoffs. I just want to let you guys know that. So,
hey, skill over will.
Skill over will.
Will over skill.
Nice. I don't know what that means, but another solid saying. Another margarita for you, sir?
Margarita! Oh, yeah. Tasty.
All right, after that, we're going to go to the third place team. Matt Learning Computers Roman. Matt Roman had an awesome team last year. I was very, very surprised by his team last year. The reason I say it was awesome because he was really, really good at the top. After his 4 really good guys, it kind of fell off, and I think that's why he didn't push for the Super Bowl. But the big pick, the big monster sleeper was Le'Veon Bell. You know, yeah, he had some hype going into the draft, but I wasn't sure about him. No one really saw him being top 5, top 6 kind of guy. He was number 1. Le'Veon Bell was the man. He had 30-point games. He had 40-point games. He dominated.
Back to back.
He was dominating. And this year, there would be no question who the number 1 pick in the draft would be. It would be Le'Veon Bell if he didn't have his suspension.
Is it 3 weeks?
Yeah, 3 game suspension.
That's not. That's,
in my opinion, I wouldn't touch Le'Veon Bell in the first round. That's just me. It's a huge benefit for the later in the year, but with your first round pick, you have to know you have to assume he's going to start every game.
16 weeks from him.
Yep, 16 games, and the fact that he's already missing 3. I can't deal with that. But other than that, Matt had a great team. He had Alshon Jeffrey, who had some awesome weeks. We know how Cutler likes to throw the ball. He also had Demaryius Thomas, which, maybe the best wide receiver in the NFL right now.
He really is. He's a monster. He has the best quarterback and
best QB. He just got his new contract deal, so he's not going to be worrying about that at all. You can pretty much guarantee yourself.
Sanders is going to get even more attention too, which means he's even open.
You can't double him. You can't double him with Sanders there, and you definitely can't double him now that they're going to be running with C.J. Anderson. So Demaryius Thomas, great pick. Definitely, I think for end of first round, early second round, worthy of a pick. Yeah. If there's no stud running backs there.
Antonio might be the only guy ahead of him in my board.
You have Antonio, and that's a really, really good team you had last year, Matt. Second place last year, Patty Fathead. Patty Fathead had a really, really, really solid team. And the reason it was solid, because we always talk about it, how important the position is, quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are the most important position.
They carry it hard.
And what did Pat have last year? Tom Brady, Drew Brees.
Tommy B. Brees.
He took Drew Brees early in the draft. We weren't really sure about it. The Saints may have been shitty, but Tommy B and Drew Brees. I almost called him again. Tommy Brees. I've been calling him Tommy Brees all day today.
Tommy Breezy.
Drew Brees did awesome. Drew Brees had the stats. He did everything last year. Tom Brady, we don't know what his suspension is going to be like. I have a feeling that they're going to cave, and he's not going to get any games. But we'll see about that. Let's hopefully the suspension thing's resolved before the draft gets here, because that could be a huge storyline.
Big story right there, huh?
Pat also had a great pick in the draft. Arian Foster, I wasn't high on Arian Foster at all. He's been injury prone. He's kind of been boomer bust. The Texans have been diarrhea. Arian Foster came out and he had an awesome year last year. I think he was, the 4th best running back last year?
I don't know if he was that high, but he still had about 1,200 yards and about a handful of touchdowns.
He had a lot more than that. He was a great running back. And from what I've been reading this year, he's been even more healthy. He's his offseason, he's got his hamstring healed. So Arian Foster's a guy to watch out for. Some guy that may fall.
Third round kind of guy.
No, he's not going to fall to the 3rd round, but he may fall past the 1st round. I guess Chase is going for him in the 3rd round. So it was a great team last year, Pat. First place, we had me, GG Well Played. Don't really need to talk about it much. Really good team.
He did GG.
It was GG, well played. Statistically, it was the best team the league's actually ever had, points-wise. I took over as Peyton Manning from 3 years ago. But it was a good team. The playoffs were great. I told Jace, I think it's the first time we've ever had the 2 best teams in the league facing in the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, one of us had to lose. Pat, I know you're still shooting for your first ring. Unless you're going up against me, I'm rooting for you to get it this year.
Whoa!
Get your name on this bad boy.
But the reason we're all here.
The reason we're all here, fellas, is
the margarita glass.
The draft order. The draft order. This upcoming draft is going to be epic. This is a really, really interesting draft. I keep going back and forth. Who do you take in the first pick?
I don't know. If I had first round, do you go safe? Or do you go for the home run, What do you do?
Do you go with AP? Coming off all the stuff, but he's still freaking AP.
He has a year of health.
Yeah. Do you go with Jamal? Jamal's been the best Jamal's been the best fantasy running back the last 3 years.
Too much injury prone.
He hasn't been injured at all the last 3 years. I don't know what he's talking about.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
You got Aaron Rodgers. You got Andrew Luck.
Antonio Brown.
You got Marshawn Lynch, who still gets overlooked. There's so many options you can go here. This year, wide receiver class is
huge.
so
Wide receiver
monstrous.
is big this year.
You have literally 7 guys.
10. I even think 10
Yeah,
close to.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if there was 10 wide receivers that went in the first 20 picks. Demarius Thomas, Calvin Johnson, Antonio Brown,
Julio Jones will be back.
Julio Jones is going to be back.
Cincinnati guy will be back.
AJ Green, you have so many guys. And don't discount Rob Gronkowski. We haven't really talked about him at all. Rob Gronkowski, now that Jimmy Graham is traded from New Orleans,
now number 1 again.
the distance between Rob Gronkowski and the second place tight end is a lot. But do you want to reach for him? He's a guy that probably will go in the second round. But do you want to take Rob Gronkowski over a guy like Julio Jones or Des Bryant or Odell Beckham Jr.? These are all questions that we're all going to have to deal with in 3 weeks. And I think it's going to make the draft really, really, really interesting. What do you think, Jace?
I think it's going to be great. I'm excited. Fantasy football is my favorite time of the year. We all know how much I get into it. And I really just want to win a ring so I can get my name on this bad boy. Thank you, Josh, for supporting us and buying us a dirty trophy.
Yeah.
But I think this year is going to be awesome. I'm excited to have Denny in the group. I think every year our skills get better and better. So I'm hoping this next year even a newcomer shows up. Maybe Justin might even make the playoffs, or Tim. Okay,
that's a good one. He's wasted.
All right, let's get down to business.
Let's do it, baby. All right.
The first pick in the 2015
Lost Boys
Fantasy draft.
football draft. Oh, yeah. First pick, boys. This is where it all begins. The season officially begins right now.
Oh God. Here we go.
Who is it?
Tim!
Tim!
Number 1.
We were just mentioning the bank. The bank, you are officially on the clock. Tim, we were just kind of knocking on him all
Victor
draft.
Cruz!
He could take his Victor. You go Eli. You can get his Eli back. You can get him back. But no, Tim, you're in a good spot here. Because the draft, we mentioned how deep it is, especially the wide receiver draft. You're going to get the first player you want no matter what. It's going to rope all the way back around, and you're going to get back-to-back of the studs.
Pretty much picks.
At first, I was thinking about this about a week and a half ago. I thought the first pick was not the right one to have. And then I looked, I started thinking about it more. I was like, the first pick's really great. You get whoever you want, and then you get three of the first top 21 guys. That's a really good pick to have, Tim. So get your books out, start reading online. You're on the clock, my friend. With the second pick in the draft, Ryan Cable. Llama. Here we go. Ryan had the last pick in the draft last year. He picked the Jimmy Graham and the Calvin we mentioned earlier. This year he has number 2 pick. Does he go quarterback? Does he go stud running back?
I think you got to go quarterback.
It
really depends on Tim, but
he got busted by those 2 skilled positions last year. Does he take the safe? He's guaranteed either Aaron Rodgers or Andrew Luck, no matter what. Does he want one of those guys? We'll have to wait and find out. We know Ryan's going to know a lot about the draft. Here we go.
And he's going to get pissed at the draft.
He's going to get pissed at Jace for not knowing names every year.
Do you even know who Alshon Jeffries is?
Third pick in the draft.
Me, third again.
Jace,
I'll take it.
Back-to-back years, number 3. Last year he took A-Rod, and I know what he's thinking right now.
Drop A-Rod.
He is hoping A-Rod and Luck don't go 1-2. Jace loves his quarterbacks. They're the safest picks in the draft, and let's be real, it works out for him every year. He almost makes the playoffs every single year. So that's what he's rooting for. What do you think?
Rooting. If you guys don't take one of them, I'm taking the other one. Or you guys can take both of them. Don't, please.
All right, for the 4th pick in the draft,
Matt
Roman. I am digging this draft order. We aren't seeing a lot of people who are up there usually. Matt Roman gets that 4th pick in the draft. Get the learning computers ready, boot it up, reload the RAM, get your screen protectors on there, Roman.
Windows 95, get that bad boy up and running.
Windows 95. He's still rocking it. No, but Matt's going to pull something. The reason I like Matt is because he always pulls something kind of unique out of his ass. We'll see if he does it this year. We'll see if he sticks to the top 5, top 6 guys. You never know. We'll see if he actually goes for Le'Veon. He might go for his boy again. He carried him to the playoffs last year.
That 3-week suspension's risky.
That is true. With the 5th pick in the draft,
Cal Rizion.
Cal zone with pick number 5. I got a weird feeling that Cal's going to lean towards an Eddie Lacy or Marshawn.
Oh, Marshawn is right.
Those
Cal likes the bruisers.
They're bruisers.
He
they're
likes
workhorses.
bruisers.
They're stud picks. They're worthy of going in the top 5.
And they're some of the most reliable running backs. They don't get hurt.
Yeah, he had
Especially Marshawn.
He had them both, I think, 2 years ago. And last year he had Marshawn.
He even won the Super Bowl. He had a both.
Yeah. Cal, we always knock Cal. We always give Cal some shit, but Cal's actually had legitimately really good teams the last few years. So I think no matter who he picks is going to be the right pick.
Now, technically, the worst pick in the draft. 6 is considered.
6 is not a very good pick, but we'll see. I think this year's a little different. I don't think there's a bad pick in this year's draft.
There's always a worse pick than the first pick.
No,
write that down.
I don't know what that means either, but I think this year every single pick is a solid pick.
Sorry for the cough,
6th
guys.
pick in the draft.
Josh.
Me.
Champion goes to 6.
I'm at
That's good.
6, so quote unquote the worst pick. But no, I think it's a solid pick. There's I kind of was looking over the top people. Who knows who's going to be there? Either way, I'm going to have my choice of a bunch of guys. So we'll see what happens. Ready?
Ready?
7th pick
This is
in
when you start. I like the
the draft.
Patty Fathead. Second place.
Patty. Back-to-back, you had their Super Bowl contenders, and now they're picking back-to-back in this year's draft. Pat with the 7th pick, he's going to take someone good. Is it going to go quarterback? Is it going to go? I don't know.
He go quarterback, Pat.
I don't know if one of the top two quarterbacks are going to be there right around this time. And I don't know if you can reach for a guy like Peyton Manning or maybe Drew Brees. He might be able to take Brees.
Tommy Brees.
He had Brees last year, and it did really well for him. So we'll see this year.
So we got Denny.
We have Denny left. We have Justin left.
Denny, Justin,
And who are we missing?
Adam.
Cass.
Those are the 3 bottom feeders.
Denny, Justin, and Cass.
Denny.
Denny coming into town with the 8th pick in the draft. I think the 8th pick is an awesome pick. I really do. I think all the clutter's going to be there. I think he's going to have his choice. I honestly think he's probably going to go maybe wideout. There's going to be some awesome,
Antonio. That's where he did.
awesome wideouts. Antonio there, Demaryius Thomas there, Calvin Johnson there, Dance Bryant there, Julio Jones. We have mentioned all these guys. And when you're in the back of that draft, if you miss out on those stud quarterbacks and the stud running backs, you don't want to reach for a tier 2 running back. You want to, if you get a kid a stud wide receiver, you take one of the studs there. So then you get reading. 9th pick in the draft.
Justin
Moretto, the ghost. He's going to float into the 9th pick in the draft. We don't know what the hell Justin's going to do. We honestly don't. He could throw a Rob Gronkowski out of there. He could throw I don't even know. What do you think?
kicker.
Defense.
He
He might
didn't take 2 defenses.
back-to-back defenses. You just never know. But Justin's going to come. I hope Justin shows up to the draft this year in person. We had a little issue Skyping in last year while he was sleeping in his bed. Bretto, I better see you at the draft. Going up to the computer and making that 9th pick, baby. Let's do it. Pick number 10. We ain't even need to do it.
Adam.
Big Daddy Cass. Number 10. We almost got it to where you didn't get that first-round pick like we were joking about. But no, first round, Cass has number 10. Back-to-back picks. I think the 10th pick is an awesome pick to have.
It's my favorite after first.
It's a great pick. You get back-to-back picks. You can take a running back wide receiver. You can take a Drew Brees, Arian Foster.
You take 2 quarterbacks, knock them out, be done. You can go so many options.
You have so many options right there. It's a great pick to have. So that's it. One more time, we're going to go over the draft order. Jace, read them off.
All right, John. We got Tim at number 1, Ryan Palmadrama at number 2, me, Tate on the Nip at 3, Matt Learning Computers at 4, Cal Gotham Rogues at 5, Josh GG Well Played at 6, Patty Fathead at 7, Denny question mark. I'm going to go with 2 shoes at 8, Justin, what's his name? Boners. Justin Boners at 9, and Hooked on Tronics Adam at 10.
There it is, fellas. That's the draft order.
This is getting sealed in the envelope
Yep,
and getting
he's
sent to
putting
all
it
your
away.
houses.
Start your studying your rosters.
John, get that paper out of your house.
Start to think who you're going to take, guys. It was fun for us as it is always. Jace, do you have any last comments?
I'm coming for ring number 3. I've been on a stale mark, and I'm going to hit it hard this year.
He's going to
Be ready for trades draft day. I'm out.
There's a bold statement. There's a bold statement. He's out. Guys, we're going to end the day. I can't wait to see you guys in 3 weeks. Get ready. It's going to be epic.